Praise God. Is the human chip implant a wave of the future? Is the human body a fit place for a microchip? The debate is no longer hypothetical. Uh, Here's Kevin Warwick, professor. He's getting a chip in his arm. When the new chip is in place, we will tap into my nerve fibers and try out a whole new range of senses. Isn't that something? How quickly this has become the experiments, the things that are being done. There was 9 different chips developed. One of them, we did a chip that would stop the output of the pituitary gland. You women know that if you don't have the signal from the pituitary gland, estrogen will not flow, and you can't ever conceive. And so what this microchip does, it's a 57 gigahertz signal, will stop. It confuses that signal from the pituitary gland. No estrogen flow. And our government, in conjunction with the Indian government, did 100,000 young ladies that were high-risk young girls that were loose morally, and they will never have a baby. They will never have a baby. And we did that. Do you know how many of our Indian women and Indian young girls on the reservations are being sterilized today using a microchip implant? There is a whole lot of them. They're going to kill the Indians out. They aren't going to be able to reproduce. They're going to kill them out, and they're going to end up with the reservations coming back to the government. But that's a pretty strong program on the Indian reservations. Microchip implant in woman's head 20 years ago, and in her forehead. And this was sent to me. The lady was aware her chip implementation was a part of a government project. It was called the Phoenix Project. Many people speak of chips being implanted. Amazing. Let's go along. This is a chip that is called a mu chip. It's the size of a grain of sand. You can't hardly see it on his finger there. 2.45 gigahertz and stores a 128 bit number. This thing is like sand and can be sprinkled. They sprinkled it in front of the caves. They used drones, flew by in front of the caves and sprinkled this, and then they went away. And as the people stirred around the cave, they could find out which cave had people in it in Afghanistan. And so this is how we were able to nail the right caves, because there's so many caves there. A lot of them didn't have anybody in them, and we were blowing up the wrong caves. And so this stuff. Walmart has ordered these little mu chips, and they are going to be putting them in their clothing. And so if you take clothing off the shelf and you get out of the store with it and it doesn't go through it being checked out, they'll follow you to your house. Gillette is going to be putting this in all their shaving products. The little mu chip. Amazing little chip. To keep track of their, instead of barcodes, you're going to see barcodes disappear, and you'll see this little mu chip be there. It's amazing. Move that one down, Ruby. There's one up here. The Carlyle Group, which is chaired by the senior Bush, has a subsidiary named Matrix. It's brimming with NASA and NSA, National Security Agency, and CIA operatives, and is pushing a swastika-shaped tracker chip. The purpose in this chip is that it will be inserted in a police officer, and it will also be in the weapon. And if the two chips don't match up, that weapon will not fire. They're pushing this. Homeland Security is pushing it, and this is just one of those things. I'm just filling you in on the latest stuff. This is what they're doing, okay? And half silicon, half human microchips. Scientists said on Friday that they have created a bionic chip that mixes human cells with layers of silicon, a device they hope to use in research to treat disease. Folks, the reason why you will not stop partial birth abortion is still going on. Even though President Bush signed a stop on it, the courts have challenged it, and so partial birth abortion is still going on. The tissue from a partially birth aborted baby is worth a lot of money. The organs are worth a lot of money. You can go to the internet and find a catalog that'll tell you what those parts are worth, what the kidneys are worth, what's the heart's worth, what the parts are worth. And it's amazing. The Bible says that the blood will not clot until the 8th day. Baby skin rolled off like you would take the top off a sardine can and flash frozen is used in the cosmetics areas, new skin, this type of thing, to redo women's skin. They're paying big money for that. So that partially birth aborted baby is worth a lot of money. The skin's peeled off, flash frozen, and sent to that market. Parts are used. The brain is homogenized and used in other things. But this is why the abortion industry is so strong. There are now all kinds of scandals going on with people who donate their bodies supposedly for research, and this type of thing. They're not being used for research. The parts are being sold. Parts are being sold on the market. You're worth a lot of money. More money dead than you are alive, probably. But these are things that happen. How long do you believe that God is going to stand still and watch this kind of thing go on? Okay? And so this is one of the things, sandwich chips made. Are we headed for a cashless society? It's amazing. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark of the name of the beast and the number of his name. Folks, I wished it was different. I'd like to be able to tell you that this is not happening, but it's happening all around us. We're moving faster and faster into that area of the technology that is going to line up with the mark of the beast. Implantable biochip, mark of the beast in the right hand or forehead. The Antichrist cashless economic system of global electronic enslavement is here now and ready for implementation. A new world order. Isn't that amazing? You will use it. It's already being used by the wealthiest. By the way, there are clubs now, private clubs, that are using the microchip as an ID. If you want that documentation, I'm glad to give it to you. But you can go to the internet, go to Infowars.com, go down and find this thing on the country clubs, and they're using this as the identification. The VIP membership gives you a microchip under your skin. Isn't that good? You will use it for its advantages and to help prevent fraud and identity theft. The big thing that's going on right now is identity theft, and this is how we do it. This is a microchip that was in John Glenn, and I leave dates on things so you know when this was, but this was Newsweek magazine. This is a multiprocessor chip, 2 lithium batteries, and this thing was in and out of John Glenn several times. It's in him now. They're checking his aging process for John Glenn. Anyway, will you take it serious, folks? Will you? I just ask you, please. This thing is real. I wished it wasn't. I'd like to be able to go off and hide someplace and forget the whole thing and say it never happened. But it's all around us. Please take it serious.